Welcome to Supreme Science Grenade Launcher, where today I will have a theory on time travel. To be specific, a Dragon Ball Z time travel theory. And the theory I want to put out is a very simple thing to answer one of the questions I've been hearing from people around me. And that question is, what did Trunks do during the 3-year time skip from when he appeared to Goku after defeating Frieza to when the androids attacked? What was he doing for that time? What was he doing? Now that's what I'm here to answer right now and today. My theory states that Trunks literally never left. My theory is a simple theory that Trunks, when we see Trunks time traveling after defeating Frieza and talking to Goku, he didn't go back to the future. He went straight to the 3 years later. As if you look at Trunks, when he appears 3 years later, he seems not to be stronger than he was exactly when he appeared to defeat Frieza. That would have been 3 years ago for the other ones. So what I believe is Trunks went to the past first and then went to the 3-year time skip instantly. He didn't go to the future. Because you have to ask, if he did go back to the future, why would he go back to the future? How does the fuel work for the time machine? I believe that the fuel could only work for exactly 4 trips. 4 trips. Let me explain. So, if we look at it, the way it would make sense is simply Trunks travels from the future to age 763 to defeat Frieza and speak to Goku. Then, after leaving age 763, he goes instantly to age 766 to see how they have been doing for those 3 years of them training. For all you know, they were training for all he knows. And also to help them defeat the androids. So, after that, he would be left with exactly 2 trips. 2 trips. After that, he returns to the future, leaving him with exactly 1 trip. So then, you're going to ask me, wouldn't there be exactly some few plot holes with my theory? Because if he was left with 1 trip, why didn't he instantly go back in time when Goku Black appeared a few years later? I have a simple explanation. The simple explanation is that even if the time machine isn't active, if it's on, it uses fuel. And to trick Cell, they had to keep the time machine on, so it kind of like used the fuel of the last trip. Thus they had to make different fuels during the Goku Black arc. Then you'll ask, the second plot hole is simply what about when Trunks was saying that he returned to the past because his mother told him, if our future won't be saved, at least let 1 future be saved. There's a very simple explanation for me to be able to explain that. It's simple. What if he just assumed that's what the person would say and didn't just say he assumed so that they could think he went back to the future because they thought he went back to the future? Because Trunks would know this. If he time traveled and they defeated the androids, his memories would have been different. And if he hadn't known that, why would he have time traveled back if his memories were different? Thus, he already knew that the androids must have won somehow. So he went instantly to 3 years later. Because if he did go to the future, what was he doing for those 3 whole years? Trunks most likely was thinking like this. He went, met Goku and saw how strong he was and realized he wouldn't be strong enough for the androids. Then, after that, then he went and asked Goku to start training for the androids. And then after that, he directly went to the future, to age 766, to see if they had won and to go help them. And then, when he appeared, because the time machine, of course, was wonky a little because it's just the first time machine in Universe 7, it got him a few, let's say, hours late, so he was able to miss the start of the fight. That's why I believe that Future Trunks never returned to the future. He just went directly to the future of the main timeline just to see what would occur. As the Trunks who came to fight Frieza and the Trunks who appeared right before going in the hyperbolic time chamber, the Trunks that appeared later doesn't seem to be any stronger than the Trunks that appeared before. That wouldn't make sense if Trunks actually went back to the future, as he would have had to wait a whole year so he could have trained a little bit more. Then the androids say they hadn't fought him since last week, or was it? Don't know if that's true. Please double check me on that. And then I say that the reason they hadn't seen him there is because he went directly a jump, and then went exactly at least 1 week since he went. Because how can you, if the time machine takes 1 year to make its fuel, why would you say they only just fought him last week and not that he disappeared for a few days, a whole day, came back and then disappeared for what felt like almost weeks? So why would they exactly say that? And if that he did go back to the future, why wouldn't he have come back stronger? He came back with the exact same amount of strength. And think about the choice of years. Trunks could have gone to age 765, given the heart medicine to stop it and told them to trade. But the reason he went to age 763 is simply because he wanted them to train longer and see what would happen if they trained longer, because if they trained for 2 years, for a few months, it wouldn't make sense. But if they trained longer for 3 whole years, then, of course, they would become stronger than if they trained for a few months. Thus, he went to age 763. And now, let me tell you my timeline of events according to this theory that has a lot, maybe some plot holes against it. But if you find anything that debunks this theory, send it to me and maybe I'll remaster this one day. So here is my timeline of the events according to what I believe from my theory. First, Trunks goes to Trunks and his Bulma realize they have to make a time machine. They start getting parts when Trunks is exactly 13. 3 years later, when Trunks is 16, they have been able to get enough fuel for at least 4 trips. And then, after that, he is told exactly to return after meeting Goku. Well then, Trunks decides to maybe do that or maybe do some other thing. So Trunks goes to age 763, the exact day Frieza comes And of course, we all know he fights Frieza. And then, after fighting Frieza, he talks to Goku, where he spars with Goku using a little bit of his power. So, of course, he wouldn't hurt Goku because he didn't want to hurt Goku. After seeing Goku's strength compared to a little bit, compared to maybe half of his own power, he realized if Goku trains for this many years, he'll maybe be able to beat the androids, maybe, but if only all of them train for those few years. So he tells them to train. And then he thinks about it and sets the time machine to age 766 to go exactly 3 years in the future to the day the androids attacked. Because of it being like a prototype time machine, he appears at exactly a few hours after the androids had already attacked. So he goes there and finds them, realizing they're not fighting the androids of his timeline. One of them, Dr. Gero, goes and escapes and releases androids 17 and 18. Recognizing them as the androids from his future, he tries to fight them, but they end up strong. Then, after that, he goes back with the group as they retreat after getting beaten by the androids, and then the rest occurs as it normally occurs in the show. Please just go watch it. And then after that, Trunks goes back to his future, where he knows that Cell is going to arrive and that and defeats his androids. Then, with the time machine on to trick Cell, it uses the last tree it could have, and seeing no use to refilling it, because not knowing the threats that will come in the future, Trunks leaves the time machine just there, and then the Goku Black arc starts. Thank you for watching my video, and I am very thankful for you watching it. May you come again next week on Saturday for another video from me, Supreme Science Grenade Launcher, as we shall post another video maybe later this next week. Bye.